So, in this class what we want to discuss is attainment of program outcome and course outcome. So, which is you can say that which is one of the important part of your NBA SAR, but it is not only for NBA SAR, it is also helpful for your improving your teaching quality. So, in outcome based education what we said that outcome based education philosophy is very simple, that target is given, paths are provided. So, targets is the outcome where the student has to reach, paths are provided, teachers act as a facilitator, mentor and guide. So, teachers help the students to reach the target. Now, who will reach the target? Students. So, students will reach the target. Now, suppose you have designed all this outcome based curriculum, you have implemented in the classroom, everything is done. How do you test the students or the learner has attained that outcome? So, understand. So, attainment means we are testing or we are analyzing the student attainment or how much target or the out of the given target, how many students attain that target, or out of given targets how many target student has achieved. So, attainment is not only the how many student has passed, how many student has failed, how many students got above 70%, how many students got above 60% marks, not that. Attainment is I want to measure the two attainment. How many student has achieved the target with respect to number of students. Another one, if I given them the 5 target, out of 5 target, how many target they have achieved. Okay. So, that is why attainment of program outcome and course outcome. So, for a given program, let us for BTech in electronics engineering, we said a BTech engineer supposed to acquire this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill, this skill. Some of the skills are domain dependent, some of the skills are domain independent. So, number of skill is given which is come from the graduate attributes 12 dimension PO1 to PO12. Now, I want to measure how many students has acquired all those 12 PO and how many students has acquired out of 12 how many POs. Similarly, course outcome attainment. So, I have a course, I said those are the 5 targets. So, I have a 5 CO, let us 5 CO. So, out of 5 CO, how many CO is attended by the students, and out of suppose there is a 70 student in my class. So, out of 70 students, how many students has attended 5 out 5 CO. So, that is why it is called attainment calculation. I want to find out that attainment number. So, how do you do that attainment calculation? So, as when I talk about the assessment and evaluation, I have shown you this diagram. What I said? I said that evaluation criteria. If I say a student got 80% marks, that means the student has achieved the 80% target. If a student got 70% marks, that means a student has achieved the 70% target. And if a student does not attain the target, then there is a call effect feedback loop. As a teacher, what feedback I can take. Similarly, when I calculating the attainment of PO, so I am collecting the information in the which point or what are the lacuna in my program and which point has to be improved how much. So, attainment is not that okay, this program attainment is low means oh, this program is no, attainment calculation is only for finding out the feedback system or developing the feedback system of a particular program. So, what I said, accreditation is also attainment important because accreditation is guaranteed the minimum quality requirement. It does not guarantee the maximum quality. It does not limit the maximum quality. So, maximum quality can be anything, but accreditation guaranteed the minimum quality. So, attainment, when I say, I expected that all students must attain the minimum quality which is required for accreditation and which is required for a B.Tech program. So, this is the minimum quality they have to have attained, and above them they can attain anything. So, attainment calculation is very important for two aspects. One aspect, as a teacher or as a program designer or as an institute, you can get the feedback which of the point you have to improve. As a accreditor, the certification certified, somebody is certified that this course is accredited. That means that body is ensuring that this course maintain the minimum quality requirement. That means that unless they find out that all the students who are come from this curriculum are attended the desired target. So, the measurement of attainment is also part of the accreditation, because you say those are the outcome and which is guaranteed the minimum quality. Now, I have to ensure that those minimum outcome are attained by the students. So, that is why attainment calculation is important. So, the question is how do you calculate the attainment? So, what I said in assessment and evaluation, the assessment is a process for gathering data about the student's competence. So, assessment is a process to gathering data about the student's competence. What competence? Means to achieve whether the student has achieved the target or not. So, that is why this is called criteria based assessment. So, assessment has a this purpose of the assessment to check whether a student or to collect the data about whether a student has achieved the target or not, or how much he achieved, how much target he achieved. So, that data we have collected. So, when I say the attainment calculation, that attainment calculation can be done on the based on the assessment data. Assessment can be two types, one is direct, another one is indirect. If you ask somebody, suppose a driver, suppose you have a you want to appoint a driver. Let us take an example. The one assessment is that you can survey about that driver. So, that driver may be working somewhere else, you can collect feedback from that place. So, that is called indirect assessment. So, you are judging the driver based on the feedback provided by the previous employer or feedback provided by the society about that driver. So, that is called survey based. So, that is indirect. Or you can take the test of the driver, you can give a car and told them to drive this, take this right turn, take the left turn, make a L-shape parking. So, all kind of test you can take, that is called direct assessment. So, the attainment can be measured whether the driver, what do you mean by attainment? Whether the driver is competent or not. So, attainment can be measured based on the two methods. One is called direct, that is that means you are testing the driver, or in case of student you are testing the students whether they able to do it or not, or based on the survey data whether they have doing it in that when they employed or when they employed whether they able to do it or not. So, there is a two kind of attainment calculation, one is called direct method, another one is called indirect method. So, if you see this diagram, so attainment, what attainment you want to measure? Either attainment of CO or attainment of PO. Since CO and PO is already mapped, PO and PO is already mapped, PO and mission is already mapped. So, if I able to calculate the attainment of CO, I can calculate the attainment of PO. Once I able to calculate the attainment of PO, I can calculate the attainment of PO, I can calculate the attainment of mission. So, PO is mission is correlated. If I achieve PO, that means mission is achieved. If I achieve PO, then PO and PO is already correlation I have done. So, that correlation said me that PO and PO are correlated. So, if the PO is achieved, then PO is also achieved. So, since CO and PO is also correlated, so if I achieve the CO, then it indirectly told me that if the CO is attained, PO is also attained. So, I have to calculate the attainment of course outcome. From the course outcome, I can come to the attainment of program outcome. Or in case of indirect attainment, sometimes we directly can take the feedback about the attainment of program outcome. So, the course outcome is not necessary, but it will be better if you take the course outcome attainment survey instead of PO program outcome attainment survey. So, what we do? So, what is our target? We have designed that outcome based curricula which is already available to the students. We have used the modern tools and used the teaching learning methods to attain this 12 PO, which is the graduate attribute. So, this process is already done. So, based on the teacher's written course outcome, we have already designed PO, CO matrix and program matrix. So, program matrix and course matrix are available based on the teacher's assumption. Teacher said, since this is the target of design, that is why the student know how to design the circuits. So, that is target wise I have already mapped. Course matrix is developed, program matrix is developed, but I do not know whether the teaching learning process which I am using in the class are able to implement the outcome based curricula in the class and all the students are achieve that target. Unless they achieve the target, course matrix, program matrix, what is the use? Same example I have given. Suppose you say that, okay, my institute follow IIT syllabus, or your institute becomes IIT. Why not? Because the attainment is not there. Maybe resources, input quality and the you can say the environment is not supported to attain that level. So, unless we calculate the attainment, we cannot find out whether the program is maintain the minimum requirement or what kind of improvement methods is required to attain the desired goal. So, attainment analysis is not only done for accreditation, it has to be done for improvement of your program, which is called continuous improvement. Okay? So, how do you do it? Up to this portion already developed. Now, I know course outcome, let us think about the attainment of course outcome. Attainment of course outcome. So, course outcome, assessment method, direct and indirect. Direct method is the assessment procedure. What is the procedure? Semester exam, assignment, lab assignment, project, seminar, viva, all are assessment procedure. Okay? So, maybe end semester, maybe internal, maybe external, whatever it is called assessment procedure to find out or to gather data about the students' competence to the course outcome. Okay? Now, if you see here, I have not included the class test, quiz or periodic assessment. I have not included in case of attainment calculation. Why? Because periodic assessment is not used for students' evaluation. Why? Because purpose of periodic assessment to provide feedback or provide remedial lesson to the students. So, why I take a class test? Suppose in this week I have teach a concept, or this week I cover a concept. That concept has a several misconceptions. So, my purpose of that class test is to find out what kind of misconception is there on the student mind, and once I get the misconception, I can provide them the remedial lessons. Since the remedial lesson is provided, that is why that data I cannot use for evaluation, because evaluation, that data will quantify the attainment of the student's goal. So, that is why the class test I have not included here. So, when you calculate the attainment, do not use the class test. If we use the class test, because the class test, quiz, all are used to find out the students' misconception, and those are periodic in nature. So, there is a no thumb rule that there will be a 2 class test, 1 class test, 3 class test, no thumb rule. It depends on your how you teach, and that class test is a feedback loop. This is called classroom response systems. So, assessment, semester, mid-sem, in-sem, internal, external does not matter. Those are open loop, there is no feedback. I have not immediately provided the feedback to the students. Those data will be used to quantify the students' attainment. So, that is why those data is used for attainment calculation of students about the course goal. Okay? So, this may be a semester exam, assignment, lab assignment, project, seminar, viva, many things. Whatever the data you have used for evaluation, those data must be included here. Okay? Then what you said, based on the data, you have to calculate the attainment of the CO. Once you get the attainment of the CO, since you know the CO-PO mapping, that means course matrix or program matrix, sorry, this will be course matrix, not program matrix. This will be course matrix, not program matrix. So, since I know the course matrix, that how the CO is mapped to PO, if the CO is attained, I can easily calculate the attainment of PO. So, there is a correction in the slides. This will be course matrix. I have a 5 CO, I know the CO PO mapping, I know the attainment of the each CO, I can calculate the attainment of the each PO. Similarly, indirect assessment I can take, I will discuss it later on, indirect assessment. Okay? So, there is another block I have not mentioning, which is called mapping, which is a very important issue. Because we said those are the assessment procedure, not all courses use the all assessment procedure. You may say theory courses, I will be tested by only a semester exam. Lab courses, lab assignment, seminar, project. So, how do you decide it? How do you develop the evaluation matrix of the courses? Whether it is theory courses, whether it is lab courses, whether it is seminar, whether it is viva, does not matter. You have to design the evaluation matrix, which I cover in the last lecture of the 4th week. So, how do you design the evaluation matrix? I have a assessment method is used in direct method, I have already said. I have a course. Course name is acoustic design, LTP is given, credit is given, and those are the course outcome. Okay. So, if I say this is a theory course, this is a theory course. If I say this theory course will be tested on end-sem and mid-sem, if I say that, and mid-sem carry 30%, end-sem carry 50%, how do you decide? That has to be clear to the students. And also you have to decide whether the all CO can be tested on a time bound exam or not. If you should look at the CO4, can I test it on a time bound 2 hour or 3 hour examination? I cannot. So, a course outcome may contain an outcome which cannot be tested on a 2 hours or 3 hours time bound examination. It may require 2 months or 1 month. So, you will provide an assignment or project to the students, and based on that result you can find out whether they have attained the CO4 or not. So, when you design the evaluation matrix, you have to think, is this is a correct assessment procedure to test my CO or not? All CO is not possible to test with 3 hours or 2 hour examination, whether it is internal, external, does not matter. So, assessment methods depends on the what kind of CO you want to test. So, it is not arbitrary. So, suppose this is the course. So, when I develop my evaluation matrix, I say yes, this course CO can be tested based on the 3 evaluation. CO4 can be tested on assignment, CO1 and 2 and 3 can be tested during the mid-sem and end-sem exam. So, I say the assessment methods are mid-sem, end-sem and assignment. Now, I have to define the weightage. So, suppose I have said 100 marks, I say 30 marks on mid-sem, 50 marks on end-sem, 20 marks on assignment. Based on the number of CO and importance of the CO, you can assign these marks. Okay? So, let us design that part. So, this is my course, I have a 4 CO, CO 1, 2, 3, 4. I said when I design the question paper, it is very important, mapping between the test item and CO. You have to ensure the test item are related to your CO, which is ensure the validity of the test item. So, let us CO1 is tested on mid-sem by question number 1 and question number 2. CO2 is tested on mid-sem by question number 3, end-sem question number 1, 2 and 3. CO3 is tested on end-sem question number 3, 4 and 5. And CO4 is tested on assignment 1 and assignment 2. Okay? So, out of 30 marks, I can say each of the questions, let us say 10 marks. You can distribute this also. It may be 5, it may be 15, it may be 15. or 10. I can say it is 5 marks, it is 15 marks, it is 10 marks. So, depending on the importance or depending on the depth of coverage, complexity, you can define the marks also. So, once I say that CO1 is tested on question number 1 and 2, okay, CO1, what kind of skill I want to test in CO1? Domain dependent skill is given the specification of an acoustic room, determine reverberation time, mean pre-part, number of reflection per second, room nodes and minimum volume for large room acoustics. So, cognitive level is analysis, domain dependent I know. Now, you can remember when you develop the program matrix or COPO matrix, course matrix, you said the course outcome and teaching learning process map towards the program outcome. So, you said while I am developing this CO, I am also developing domain independent PO also. I will show you. I think I have that. So, you said while I am developing CO1, I know this is develop the domain dependent outcome 1 and 2, and it also develop domain independent outcome 9, 10 and 12, which is you said that due to the teaching learning process and CO, both are mapped to PO. So, not only the CO itself, CO and teaching learning process both are responsible for course matrix development. Now, once I say that attainment of the CO or attainment of the course matrix, so that means I have to prove that if a student attends CO1, he attend PO number 1, 2, 9, 10 and 12. So, what is 9 said? Individual and teamwork. What is 10 said? Communication skill. What is 12 said? Lifelong learning. Now, suppose you design a question, determine the reverberation time for this acoustic room. You can say if a student is able to answer that question, CO1 is attended towards PO1 and PO2. But how do you ensure the student has attended the communication skill, teamwork and lifelong learning? So, that means when I design the questions, I have to ensure that questions not only include the domain dependent part, but also include the domain independent part also. So, let us for an example, communication skill. How do you test? While I am testing their analyzing ability, their communication ability also. So, that means question number 1 and 2, within these two questions, I have to design such a way I am testing their analyzing ability and also their communication ability. So, that means one aspect is that you may say analyzing ability can be tested by giving a questions, determine this parameter. If I give them the question, describe reverberation time, you may say this is not sufficient for attainment of the CO, because CO is in analysis level, your question is in comprehension level. So, I cannot give a question describe reverberation time to find out the attainment of CO1 with respect to PO1 and 2. So, my cognitive level of the question must be in analysis level. but I also have to test that their communication ability. Two ways I can say. One is question number 1 and 2 carry 20 marks. Out of 20 marks, I can say let's 4 marks designated for testing communication skill or 2 marks designated for testing communication skill. So, I give a question, describe reverberation time, and when I evaluate the question, I will check their spelling mistake also, their language, grammar, spelling mistake, everything, because my purpose is that to test whether they attained that communication ability is not. So, out of 2 marks, I can say I am testing their communication ability. Remaining 18 marks, I can test their cognitive ability on the domain dependent PO. Now, once I test their domain dependent PO, what is PO he said? Analysis level. What kind of analysis? Complex engineering problem. So, should I give a problem which is how much complex I cover in the class, or it will be above that complexity? So, when I say design the question paper, I have to think all those things. This test item designed for CO1, out of this test item, this part I will design for testing their cognitive ability on domain dependent outcome. This part is designed within that field for testing their domain independent outcome on that part. And while I am giving, instead of providing a single test item for a particular CO, I am providing multiple test items. Why? Because I am ensuring, I want to say that this is the minimum quality required. You say this is the minimum quality required. So, if a student is able to answer question number 1, minimum quality is fulfilled. Then question number 2, I give a some complex problem. I want to see whether they are able to attain that complex problem or also or not. So, if I design my test item like that way, then I can say the 50%, if a student score 50% marks, that means minimum attainment requirement is fulfilled. Have you understand what I am saying? I am saying for attainment calculation of CO1, I am providing 2 questions. Let us 20 marks question. Question 1 have a 2 part, question 2 has also 2 part. Question 1 2 parts, I said question 1 ensure the minimum quality requirement and communication skill. Question 2 ensure their self learning ability and also some higher end questions. So, let question number 1 carry more marks. If it is carry 15 marks and question 10 carry out of 30, let us 15 marks and it is carry 10 marks and it is carry 10 marks. So, 5 marks. Then I can say if a student is able to question number 1. So, out of 30 marks, if a student get 15 marks, then student is pass. So, since out of 20, because this CO is testing only 20 marks. So, within 20 marks, first question is 15, second question let us is 5. So, if it is second question is 5, which is higher end testing. So, if a student is able to attain 15 marks, then he fulfill the minimum quality requirement. Then what is the pass mark? 15 by 20% into 100. Okay. If I say this is 10 marks and this is also 10 marks, then I say 50% is the attainment level. Have you understand why you consider 60% is the attainment level? It is not that you arbitrarily design a questions and student gets above 60% marks, so he is pass and he attained the goal, not that. You have to design the question paper such a way you can say that if a student get this percentage of marks, then I can say the CO is fully attended. So, CO1 is attended fully if a student score more than 50 marks. When the question number 1 carry 10 marks, question number 2 also carry 10 marks. So, let us design a weight. If a student attend that CO, I said 3. If a student partially attend the CO, I said 2. If a student is average or poorly attended the CO, I said 1. So, depending on the attainment of the CO, I can define a weight. If fully attended, 3. If partially attend, 2. If it is poorly attend, 1. Okay? I can define. So, designing the question paper and mapping between the CO with the question paper is very much important aspect of attainment calculations. See that CO2 is tested on question number 3, end semester 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. Total marks is 40. If I say out of 40, if a student score 20, so I design the question such a way, if a student score 20 marks, he or she attended the CO2 and another 20 marks is for higher end. Okay? So, CO2 is fully attended if he scored 20. So, 50% marks. So, if it is got above 50%, I can say 3. So, if you design such a way that minimum attainment required 70% marks, then you should put the, if a student got above 70% marks, then he attended the course goal. If above 50 to 70%, partially attended, below 50% you can say poorly attended. So, you have to define your weight. There is no thumb rule. It depends on how you design the test item. There is nothing called internet assessment, external assessment, all those things, or they have got this much marks, not that. How you design your assessment test item is very important. Once you map the test item with evaluation matrix, then you get the how to calculate the attainment of CO. Once you done that, then things is started. So, in next class, I will show you how you calculate the attainment of CO2, because I have taken the example of CO2 and I will show you how to calculate the attainment of CO2. Okay? Thank you.